We're live, and I'm back, baby. Did you miss me? We're gonna wing it today. First day back from vacation. I'm in the weeds of getting cleaned up and back to the routine of being home for vacation, but I couldn't let another day go. We're gonna talk Eagles. We're gonna wing it today. Whatever you guys want to talk about today, trending in the AM here on Philadelphia Sports Network. 30 seconds. We're live. And a very good morning, everybody, and welcome to Trending in the AM right here on Philadelphia Sports Network. We're live, Facebook, YouTube. You know the drill. Hit that like and share button, that follow button, that subscribe button. It's free to do it. It does not cost you a thing to hit any of those buttons and help support this great morning show that I try to do all the time for you. Took a few days off before and after the vacation there. Uh, you know, had to had to do what I had to do to enjoy a few days to rest and recover. Yesterday was our travel day home from vacation, so I am physically exhausted. Did not get home till really late last night. But I told you guys I'd be back today, so we are back today. Train the AM right here on Philadelphia Sports Network, where your opinions actually matter. Um, we're back. Look at this. First comment. All right. Nicholas Morrow reporting for duty. Nicholas Morrow. We touched on him slightly when I did do a Mexico show coming back, recapping the game on Thursday night last week for the Eagles. He had a very good game. Excuse me. So there's lots to there's lots to drink. That is for sure over the last 7 days. I will be going into detox over the next 7 or 8 days there, Mad Chatter for sure. Detox food, detox alcohol, detox everything. I got to spend some time catching the pizza shop up. I got to spend time catching the house up. The house is a mess from the dog sitter. I got lots on the plate this week to take care of, but you know, we got to talk football. We got to talk Eagles. And I'm not sure even where to start. Like, the breakfast show is the best morning show in the business. And I saw y'all taking care of and showing some support to my man Liam last week. And this week, him doing his new afternoon show, which we'll hope he'll do it this afternoon. We'll call his show the dinner show because he calls this the breakfast show. Um, what well, you guys don't know you're back. I don't even know. I am. The guys don't know I'm back. Well, I am back. I'm here. I'm good to go. It was a rough return yesterday. A long time at the airport. Had some pizza shop problems yesterday. My car got I hit a deer on 95, going about 75 miles an hour coming home from the airport last night. Wrecked my Jeep. Let's just say it's been a rough last 24 hours. But you know what? It is what it is. It's part of life. We do what we do here. So Eagles. I started thinking. I have no notes. I have nothing set up for today. I have a blank piece of paper here for today. I don't know where we're going this week with the conversation. If anybody wants to talk Sixers, I know while I was away they did sign Kelly Oubre. We could discuss that a touch this week. The Phillies. We're getting to the final 10 games of the season. We can get into that later this week if you guys want to. I did hit a deer on Highway 95 going well over 70 miles an hour. Jumped the barricade, ran right in the middle of the highway, and I hit it. It hit the side of me, and it was definitely a buck of some kind. Uh, Somehow we got out of it. Just took some superficial damage to my Jeep. We'll take care of that when we take care of that. It could have been so much worse hitting a deer at 95 miles or 75 miles an hour on 95. It could have been so much worse. So is what it is. It's part of life. Um, so I really didn't know where we were going to start the show with. I honestly, when I set the show up last night, I didn't even have the energy to decide what to call the show. What is up, K1? How are we doing this morning? We're back, baby. Back to our regular routine. Back to every day. No more vacations for the foreseeable future. And the next one I take, probably I'll bring all my equipment and not skip a day on. You guys can't handle life without me. I know. Monday Night Football, the Eagles last stand. They'll be struck down by the mighty Baker. No, they will not. No, no, no. I know there's a lot of people not positive on this Eagles team right now. but they're 2-0. So when I decided last night, I was thinking actually of skipping one more day of show just to recover a little bit more today. But I'm like, no, we'll do the show. I'm like, what am I going to call it? I don't even have the energy to design the show. And I said, where do the Eagles go from here? The Eagles are 2-0. Their injuries are starting to pile up. There's a lot of teams starting to surprise in the NFL. And here are the Eagles still chugging along. They're not winning games by 20, but they're winning games. They're not looking as impressive as last year, but they're still winning games. And I saw something interesting about, the fact that week one, we did go up against Bill Belichick. We're not giving the Eagles enough credit for having to face a Bill Belichick-led defense. We're not giving the team enough credit for having to go up against a Brian Flores-led defense last week. And then it doesn't get any better this week when we got to go up against a Todd Bowles-led defense. So when we talked about how easy the schedule was, were we really looking detailed at these teams, and maybe that's part of the problem about the expectations we put on this team. The Rock was on the Rock show, we're not going to talk wrestling today just yet. Good morning, Yao. It's good to see you back today. How you doing? It's a marathon, not a sprint. The NFL season is a marathon, not a sprint. It's about getting to the playoffs. It's about getting to the Super Bowl. It's about being healthy. The thing that, I'm not concerned about this Eagles team, the overall win loss or the way they've won or lost their games, K1. I'm worried about the injuries piling up. I'm worried that all the good karma we had and no injuries last year, it's starting to bite us in the ass a bit this week or this year. I mean, we have not had a few little things and, bruises so far. We're having some serious injury concerns. James Bradbury, hopefully James Bradbury's back Monday night for this Buccaneers game. But Avonte Maddox, Nakobe Dean, James Bradbury, there have been a lot of names that have missed time already on this team. Reed Blankenship, hopefully he's back soon. And I don't really see, and maybe this is something with Howie Roseman and Nick Sirianni. I haven't seen them hit any panic button yet. And I don't know if that's good or bad. I'm not sure if the Eagles, Nick Sirianni, and and Howie Roseman are so overconfident in their quote unquote system and their way of doing business that they're not taking these injuries seriously enough. Obviously, there was talks that Buda Baker was in town this week, maybe, or at least they were discussing a Buda Baker trade. I don't know. Everything that happened, is a little fuzzy being in Cancun. I can't even get my ESPN website to go back to the English version right now. It's still stuck on ESPN Deportes on my computer here. I think that maybe the Eagles front office or management isn't as concerned as we are. And I'm not sure if that's a good thing or if that's a bad thing. By week 3, everyone should be firing all cylinders. And this is the thing, but you got to take into account the injuries, and how we react to these injuries. Zach Cunningham and Nicholas Morrow had a great game on Thursday Night Football. I know that, but did they have great games or great games in comparison to what we hoped or expected? The injury gods hate us so bad that yeah, I saw that Chauncey Gardner Johnson, he's probably gone for the year. Same injury, I guess, as Avonte Maddox, a pec tear. Um, Look, I worry that right now my biggest concern is not the injuries, but the lack of concerns with these injuries from the front office. Like Buda Baker. Yeah, I get it. Buda Baker's a big name. We've been talking about Buda Baker since mid-June, I feel like, on this show. Maybe even sooner than that. Well, why haven't we done it? Why haven't we gone out and found anybody? Hell, where's Strap when you need him? Like there is a severe lack in the depths now in the secondary. Reed Blankenship probably will be back week 3, week 4. Bradbury will probably be back week 3. But no Vontae Maddox the rest of the year. Now you're going to have to worry about who's going to be your slot corner. Is it going to be Josh Joby, Mario Goodrich, Eli Ricks? Who's going to step into that role? Justin Evans hasn't done much as a safety. I mean, he's not bad, but he's not good. What is this team going to do with this secondary and the linebacker core? Are we really going to rely on Zach Cunningham and Nicholas Morrow long term? These are things that severely, severely concern me right now Good morning and welcome back. I am back. Yes, I can understand the concern of the injuries, but it's not the panic over. It's so the point, Nick, is that everyone's panicking about the fact that we're not blowing these teams out of the water. I'm panicking that no one's panicking about the injuries. I'm panicking that the front office isn't panicking. We're one or two more injuries away. I didn't even mention Quez Watkins. What's Quez's status? Being in Mexico for the last week, I don't even know what all the statuses are of all these guys. I feel so detached from Philadelphia sports right now. I watched the game. I barely watched Sunday Night Football or any of the Sunday football games. I really detached myself from sports a lot over the last week. And if you guys follow me on Twitter, all you saw or Instagram, all you saw were drink pictures and food pictures and me and my wife hanging out. I think that the panic is not enough on the injury front. Every year there's injuries, and it's not just the Eagles. Absolutely. Great teams do adjust. Missed it, but my question is, are the Eagles adjusting? That is the question. And I don't know. I think they're just kind of hoping it all works out, and they're trusting their depth that they built and their youth, and that these guys are ready. And that's a concern to me. We should have asked for Buddha as part of tampering. We could have. We should have. At this point, Buddha Baker from day one would have looked pretty good on this team, without a doubt. Injuries are a fact of life. Every team is dealing with it. And again, I don't doubt that every team is dealing with them. We've seen it nonstop in the NFL. And a lot of luckily, knock on wood, none of our big names have gone down yet. And no one on the core trenches of the offense or defensive line, knock on wood, haven't gone down yet. The positions that we've lost players on are the positions that the Eagles don't value: linebacker, cornerback, safety, as much as other positions. But should they be doing more? Buddha's now on short-term IR. I must have missed that one. Didn't even know that. That's how disconnected I feel right now from the sports world, because I've watched so little over the last week. That Nick, oh man, Marshawn, I didn't see it. I was out at the bar. I came back to my room, and I turned on the TV, and they were talking about it. Wow, people were crushing ESPN for not replaying the injury. I give them props for not replaying that injury. I saw a snapshot of the hit on his knee, and I was like, wow. I would be I wouldn't be surprised if Nick Chubb never plays again. It's a shame because I'm a big Nick Chubb fan. I thought he was a great running back. Somebody always targeted fantasy guy that just never got the credit he deserved for being one of the best running backs in the league. Man, the guy's toast, man. That leg is damaged. Yeah, the players hurt or incounts. Are they though, man? Chatter is losing your slot corner, who is we know get. We talked about this all offseason. Avonte Maddox always gets hurt, but yet no one talks about it. You know what I mean? So, but he is one of the best, and we had Zach McPherson groomed for that role, and he's out for the season. It's tough to say that. In the next couple of days, a scheduled detox. Oh, yes, yes. My stomach. No offense. This is TMI. My stomach is a train wreck today. You know, from 8 days, 7 nights of just all I can eat, all I can drink, and shout out to that Margaritaville Resort in Riviera Maya, Cancun, Mexico. Fantastic resort. Had a blast, Peanut. A blast. The escape drank creek water fill. Oh, the escape guy did get caught while we were away. Yes, it was very good. Um, Trading for players to replace injured players is technically adjusting. Well, have they traded for anybody? Have they? Did I miss a trade that I don't even know about? I mean, I know we brought in Brandon Mann, or we brought in a new punter named Mann. Um, I guess that's a good step up for special teams. Punting has not been good. Britton Covey has not been good on special teams either. He had the one good run back, but then at the fumble, uh, you know, why are we always on the XFL and USFL? We're past that today. I saw the Chubb injury on Twitter by accident. I don't blame you. Yeah, I won't lie, Marshawn. I wanted to see it. I did look it up, and I did go see it, just because I like to torture myself. And I saw that, and I was like, damn, man. That's as brutal can be. I wouldn't wish that on a Dallas Cowboy. I wouldn't wish that on any person in any sport anywhere for an injury like that. Um, thoughts and positive vibes there, man, because it's going to be a long recovery just to walk again, let alone play football again. And I don't doubt he'll try, but it's going to be hard for him to come back with the same explosion and powerful burst that he is known for. But I don't doubt that he'll give it a shot. If Chauncey Gardner didn't get injured last season, we wouldn't have found out about Blankenship. It's interesting. Injuries are an opportunity for young players to step up and show their worth. So are we confident in the Eli Ricks, the Kellen Ringos, the Josh Jobies of the world? I read an article. I'm not really good at judging whether a cornerback should be outside or inside or slot or whatnot. That's not my specialty, breaking down that kind of film. But I have read some articles that that Josh Joby might be better suited in the slot than corner. We'll find out. That might be the way they go this week. Um, James Bradbury should be back, which we need James Bradbury back with Darius Slay going up against Mike Evans and Chris Godwin. I don't care if it's Baker Mayfield or you know or who playing quarterback or Tom Brady playing quarterback. They're two great wide receivers, and we always talk about quarterbacks elevating their wide receivers. It seems like early on the wide receivers are elevating Baker Mayfield a little bit. So very, very, very interesting to see how that plays out at cornerback this week and what they're going to do with it. No Avante Maddox. I mean, they did invest a lot of assets in bringing in a lot of young cornerbacks, but is it too soon for something? Are we ready for Eli Ricks yet? Are we ready for Kellen Ringo yet? I don't know. Josh Joby, he had an okay game Thursday night. Not bad, not great. He had some good moments, some bad moments. We'll see. I am not a margarita fan. I did not have one margarita at Margaritaville at all. We need to crack the seal on Sidney Brown. Maybe, but you know, still seeing some issues. He's doing great on special teams. Not gonna lie there. I've enjoyed what he's done on special teams. He plays that gunner role really well. So maybe it is time. Justin Evans hasn't done anything to deserve anything. No, he did hear reports in training camp of Terrell Edmonds kind of playing up in a linebacker slash slot role. Maybe they use him somewhere along the defense somewhere. Maybe they play more dime now. We're gonna have to see. But see, the thing is, the whole point is where the Eagles go from now. Are we going to take into account this easier stretch of the beginning of the schedule and hope they work it out, figure it out with what they have in house, or are we hoping for them to make a move and bring in some more depth? And it doesn't have to be Buda Baker. There's got to be other players out there that can fill some of these roles. Because honestly, we don't have an out. We're okay at safety at this moment as long as Reed Blankenship's back. So seeing the Chubb injury is not something we need. Sorry, too soon. No. Oh, I did. Dude, I'm still trying to wake up here, man. Chatter or peanut. Jokes got to be more literal than that at first, or I'm not going to catch it on the first read. Took two reads to catch that one. He had same thing, same knee intended. Yeah, I read that about that. Man, it's gonna be tough, man. It is. Yeah, yeah. She was busy reading and doing her thing, so it's okay. I still think Leonard Weaver had the worst knee injury. Oh man, that Leonard Weaver injury missed. I don't. Did he even ever come back from that? Like I know he didn't come back to the Eagles. Oh man, that Leonard Weaver. Everyone's talking about that now. That was um really bad. William Jackson the third being worked out at cornerback. I saw the Eagles brought in a few people yesterday to work out cornerback, wide receiver, a couple different positions. It didn't sound like they signed anybody. Spent a lot of time traveling in airports yesterday. Maybe I missed it, but yeah, it doesn't look like they made any initial. The only addition they've made since the last game is it Brandon Mann or whatever his name is being signed to the practice squad as the next punter. And they're going to do that with him. They're going to elevate him from the practice squad each week and do that with him and see if he's better than Aaron Sipos. You notice Aaron Sipos gets cut. Nobody picked him up. He was good at Cincy before the knee injury. Okay. Um, what about? I don't even know what made me think about this. Did anybody pick up Greedy Williams after we cut him in training camp? Is Greedy Williams still available out there? I mean, at least he knows the system. At least he was around. I'm Google searching his name real quick because I'm actually curious. I don't know what made me think of Greedy Williams, but Greedy Williams was here. Uh, uh, he's listed as a free agent on Google. Quick Google search there. So maybe that's a name that they take a look at. A name that was here in camp. I don't know. But the point of my thing here is that the question is, are we overreacting about the wrong things? We should be overreacting about the injuries that are starting to pile up. That we're one big injury away, somebody on the offensive line or defensive line from it being a real big problem. And injuries can snowball. So the question is, are we worried too much about the fact that we haven't blown out the Vikings and the Patriots and not enough on the injuries? Because that to me feels like the issue at this point. Everybody just wants to talk that Jalen Hurts looks like 21 Jalen Hurts. And there is a conversation to be had there. Why does Jalen Hurts look like 2021 and not 2022 Hurts? But we're worried about that instead of these injuries, and it's a concern to me. What is up, Judd? Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Dude, everybody. Um, a big injury away from mediocrity. We are. We're already playing at a less than elite level through the first 2 weeks. The injuries are piling up. You lose somebody you lose somebody in one of the already tapped positions, like even if it's not O line or D line or quarterback or starting wide receiver, you lose another linebacker, or you lose Darius Slay or James Bradbury for an extended time, or if Reed Blankenship doesn't come back for weeks, you're in a hole. And they're not. To me, they're focused so much on these young guys that they've brought in, where we're not sure if these guys are ready yet, and it concerns me that there's not enough conversation, at least in the little I've been on social media over the last couple days, week, not enough conversation on whether these injuries need to be addressed differently than how the Eagles are addressing them. And yes, William Jackson did get brought in for a workout. But if you notice it, every team brings in guys every single week for workouts. It's not like those guys were brought in specifically for any one reason other than if you go, there's a list, and I forget who shares it, but like there's literally a list. I saw it the other day, yesterday or 2 days ago. The guys being brought in this week, 21 teams worked out 3 or more guys. Everybody works out new guys every single week, just for the practice squad, for just to get some information for down the line if another injury happens. This happens all the time. So the early week workouts don't necessarily mean they're interested in these guys to be starters or fill in major roles on these teams. Howie will trade for Chandler Jones before he trades for a starting linebacker or safety. And you're probably right there, Marshawn. It's a the valuing of a position. And guys, we're back here training the AM. I'm glad to be back with you, but we've got only 10 likes on YouTube, only 2 on Facebook. If you're watching this video, hit the like button, start your comments dropping here about where like I guess a better phrase for the show is, where is your panic on the slow visual start of this team or the injuries that are slowly starting to mount? You lose an O-line player, you're in big trouble. Yeah, I mean, and let's dive into that O-line for a second. Let's switch topics for half a second here. The O-line has not been as crisp as it has been, especially in pass protection. And look, we're talking 2 weeks here. We're talking 2 whole weeks, 2 games that played out totally different, but the pass protection is not there. And I'm wondering. Like, I know I saw that Jordan Mailata had like the number one PFF grade of a left tackle since like 2010. Oh, he didn't play that well. His pass protection wasn't great. Slayer's off to a great start, and every team is an injury away from mediocrity. Calm down, guys. Let's give this team and coach the benefit of the doubt. And that's the counterpoint to what I'm saying. Then if that's the case, Peanut, what are you most worried about in the short term on this team? Because Slay has played well. And every team would be we always say, if a quarterback goes down on any team, they're in trouble. But, it's quite a few that are starting to pile up on this team. And it doesn't seem like the team is making it a priority to find replacements. They're trusting in these young guys that they have to step up. Burrow had like 35-yard passing. Yeah, I mean, Burrow has not looked good with the Bengals at all. Not at all. Why are you telling us to panic? I haven't even finished my oh, dude, I'm still on my first cup of coffee too. It's a little different when room service brings it to you every day. I had to make my pot of coffee today. It was kind of depressing. I don't like to make my own pot of coffee. But room service, well, I called the number for room service. I turned my TV screen on and I couldn't click room service. It was kind of depressing this morning. Our O line hardly pass protects. Honestly, to be honest, I talked on this show last year when I was on a different network with a lot less people watching about concerns that this team wasn't the O line, the pass protection wasn't as great as we thought it was. Um, Shortened by a lot of best lineman in a decade. Based off of PFF, he is now. Um, I will repeat from week ago. O line looks old. Well, the O line's not as old as you think. 3 of the 5 are under 26 years old. I don't know how old Jordan Mailata is. I think he's like 26. But Landon Dickerson's under that. Cam Jurgens is under that. So the O line's not as old as you think. I'm worried about Cam Jurgens this week. Vita Vea is going to eat his lunch beat. Well, that's going to be on Mr. Jeff Stoutland to swing that protection around. The Buccaneers might be a sneaky team. Maybe Baker Mayfield. Like I said, Mike Evans and Chris Godwin, giving him those 2 wide receivers. The Buccaneers have had a good defense for a few years. They lost Tom Brady, and we all assumed because Tom Brady retired that this team was going to fall apart. Those 2 elite wide receivers are elevating Baker Mayfield. It goes to show that, maybe Kirk Cousins is even worse than we think, and Justin Jefferson makes Kirk Cousins look average by himself. So this week is going to be a Monday night game. It's going to be a concern. It's going to be a lot more of a dogfight than we let on or realize to get off of Vita Vea to Jurgens. You gonna eat your cornbread. Look, it's a great thing to bring up as an initial thought on this game. I mean, the game isn't until Monday, so we don't have to focus in on keys to victory till Monday morning. But Vita Vea versus Cam Jurgens is going to be a battle, which means that again they're going to have to come out of the blocks with an aggressive running game and running plan to kind of take the pressure off of Cam Jurgens, but also wear that Buccaneers defense down quickly. And we talked about, I think at some point last week or while I was on vacation or before vacation, someone said, well, what's the identity of this team? Well, the identity of this team, especially offensively, is going to have to be that it's a run-first team. It has to be. I'm worried about our internal implosion from the players cracking under pressure from not performing to our standards. We will beat ourselves. So you're not worried about A.J. Brown and Jalen Hurts tussle or tiff on the sidelines, but you're worried about the team as a whole imploding if shit hits the fan, basically. And I'm not. I'm less worried about internal strife than anything else on this team, and I will keep on that because Jalen Hurts is that elite of a leader. He's that elite of a person. Jalen Hurts would not, in any way, shape, or form, let this team get into a situation where that kind of stuff is becoming a distraction. I have so little doubt in that. So I'm not as worried about that. Defenses are adjusting to Hurts, and we need to adjust to those. Yeah, so that's the thing. It's always we punch, they counter punch, and what's our counter to their counter punch? That's the sign of a good thing. And we talked about what was going to be a positive season for Jalen Hurts, not regressing too much. We said at times would be we knew that there's a chance for some regression. How much does he adjust to it? Teams figured it out, at least so far. And we've gone up against 2 great defensive minds, and we got a third coming up here in week 3 against Tampa Bay. Defensive minded guy. And how this team, and then week 4 is Washington. Week 4, Washington's not good. Trust me. Sam Howell's not as good as he's looked. The coaching staff's not as good as they are. But they're moving. And that defensive front is getting after the quarterback. So there's going to be another week with pass protection being a major issue on this team. So it's going to be up to Jalen Hurts. It's going to be up to the wide receivers to get open. Jalen Hurts to stay in the pocket and find these guys. Offense needs to clean it up. Remember that offsides at reverse. Absolutely. The offense has been sketchy. Now, some of that could be the rust. Some of it could be that defenses have a book and a game plan now. We're not sneaking up on anybody. Now the questions could be is how Brian Johnson and how Nick Sirianni find that counterpunch to what defenses are doing. They started that counterpunch by just running the ball down the throats of the Vikings last week. That's the best counter to that. It's just dominating that offensive line and run blocking like they did and committing to the run. It's not pretty, it's not sexy, but it's okay. And we need to see if teams counter that and start run blocking more, put more guys in the box, that if Jalen Hurts has the ability to really get back to what he was capable of and finding the open receiver. Seems like it's more rust than anything. I hope you're right on that, Judd. I do. Because if you look at the pass chart, the spray chart on where Jalen's throwing the ball, not only is he not throwing the ball deep often, he's not throwing the ball in the middle of the field often. I mean, he's doing two things. He's dumping it off to the right and left short passes. And that's pretty much it through 2 weeks. He's got to do more. Running the ball cures all. It sets up the pass and it gives the O line momentum. Yeah, for sure. And when you have a dynamic running back like DeAndre Swift, who let's get at it, is a dynamic running back. If Kenneth Gainwell plays on Monday night and touches the ball more than DeAndre Swift, I am going to roll some heads on Tuesday morning next week, even if we win, because there's no scenario where Kenny Gainwell is the running back one on this team. It's really been interesting. We didn't really talk too much about it yet, and the way the running back week 1 was all Kenny Gainwell, week 2 was all DeAndre Swift. How Boston Scott is over Rashad Penny. That what did Rashad Penny touch the ball like 3 times on Thursday night? Boston Scott had 5 or 6 rushes, a couple catches out of the backfield. We talked about how Rashad Penny might not make this team. I could see it if this team stays healthy at the running back, if they bring in a practice squad running back and they get rid of Rashad Penny to free up a roster spot at some point. Because at some point they're going to have to they'll have to stop elevating punters and Britton Covey, and they'll have to give them a roster spot. Might be Rashad Penny. He might be the odd man out based off of the way it's going. Jalen Hurts is the godfather of AJ's kids. Their besties. I agree. There is no issue between the two of them. The issue is Jalen Hurts has made some poor decision making. AJ Brown knows it. Dallas Goedert doesn't. Dallas Goedert could have been the person doing that, because Dallas Goedert in week 1 was wide open twice and Jalen Hurts missed him. Something's with Jalen Hurts' vision just has not been good reading the field. He's got his clock is sped up for some reason. Not sure why. But it's something that needs to be adjusted and worked on for sure. When I'm open and you throw to Smith, you're taking food off my table. I don't think there's that kind of a conversation at all being had. It's going to be very tough every week. Absolutely. And we did. We got very homerish, very Eagles homerish, and just assumed this Eagles were going to walk through the beginning part of the schedule. And it's not. Other teams got better. Other teams know how to stop us now. And look, it's tough. It's tough coming off the Super Bowl and then having to play, on you get a shorter offseason, shorter time to recover. Look, the Chiefs don't look outstanding through 2 weeks. They're 1-1. The Chiefs are 1-1. We're 2-0. I'm sure nobody in Kansas City is saying the Chiefs need to blow it up and make changes or there's drama or anything like that. No one's saying that Travis Kelce needs to not worry about Taylor Swift and needs to worry about football more. So just got to be patient. But it is important for us to at least evaluate some of these questions. DeAndre Swift is an elite running back. It's an injury issue with him. And that's without a shadow of a doubt. I'm on a Kenny G truther. He good. He is good, but not as an every down back. You can't be giving him. Do you think Kenneth Gainwell, if you gave him 28 touches against the Vikings, would have had 175 yards or whatever the number was? I don't think so. I don't think he can handle the rock 28 times and be effective. Miles Sanders sucks. Anybody see? I was flipping through Twitter, waiting for the airplane ride. I saw a video of Miles Sanders having to push, what's his name? Bryce Young, because Bryce Young didn't line up under or by center. He lined up by guard by mistake, and Miles Sanders had to correct. Talk about a rookie quarterback mistake right there. It's kind of hilarious. If we keep running like week 2, there won't be 7 to 8 people in coverage, and we can use the middle of the field. Yeah, Jalen Hurts has to see them and find them. He's had problems in the past. He's gotten better at it, and now he's kind of declining in it again. About reading that middle of the field, having trust that he could throw that ball over the middle of the field. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. I'm back. Likes are free. That's right. We're up to 11 likes on YouTube, 3 on Facebook. It is free, Kyle. Again, didn't even know if I'd make it back. Hit a deer on 95 last night. Problems at the pizza shop yesterday. My delivery driver, not my pizza delivery driver, the guy that delivers my food, hit a column in the shopping center because he's a terrible truck driver and shattered a big part of the shopping center. Got that email from the landlord while I was at the airport. I mean, it's just been my house is a mess. My dog's sitter. My dog's peed everywhere. They look like they haven't been taken care of well for the last week. It's been a rough 24 hours, but I'm back. So make sure those likes are hit because that's important to me. Boston Scott should be over Penny. He looks slow. Injuries caught up. Yeah, maybe. Maybe Penny's just I thought Trey Sermon was going to make this team over Rashad Penny. There's a chance because you're going to have to elevate. You're going to have to eventually sign a punter and a kick returner or fifth wide receiver to this team officially, and he might be the odd man out in my opinion when one of those roster spots needs to be opened up. Did you watch the game? Devontae 2 long pass receptions and a touchdown. AJ got a touchdown called back. I did watch the game, Keith. I did, but I also saw the spray chart, and if you look at the spray chart, I doubt I could find it quick enough. There's a lot of minimal passes. I know. What's his name? Shane Half always shares the spray charts. I don't know how many times he's tweeted since the game. So let me see if I could page through his social media here really fast and find his spray chart. Man, that guy posts way too many videos, Shane Half. But if you're not following Shane Half for film breakdown, don't follow that other guy crushing DeAndre Swift for not running in between 2 people instead of the open hole. Follow Shane Half for film breakdown. He does the best work of it for all different kinds of stuff. But let's see here. I'm back to September 15th here now. Here it is. Here's his spray chart. I'm going to share this screen, Keith. We will catch up on the comments in one section. Share screen. Shane Half. Now take a look at this spray chart, guys. You could see it. You could see where Jalen Hurts goes. All the way on the right side, all the way on the left side. He's got 4 attempts down the field, and that's it. Only 1 in the middle of the field. It was an interception. It was a bad pass, that interception. This is not a spray chart of a guy that's looking downfield. That's my problem. That's my concern. Let me take that back off the screen there for a second and close that shared screen stuff. Really slows the internet down. But that's the concern right there. That he's not looking at that middle of the field that much. Every quarterback misses wide open receivers. It's the coach's job to show him the misses and go back to the play later in the game. Absolutely. Who cares what Skip B says? I say opinions matter, but Skippy B does not. He does not. Winning 2 games in 4 days is, dude, K1, fantastic comment right here. One of the best comments. One of the best comments of the day right here. Winning 2 games in 4 days. This start of the schedule for the Eagles has been brutal. 425 games on the road. You're the defending NFC champions. You start on the road. Then you have a Thursday night game right like that for your home opener. And then after that, you got to go to Monday Night Football. I mean, our first 1 o'clock game isn't until week 4. This has been a very weird start to the schedule. So there is something to that. There is definitely something to that. Kenny G, mid-ish. Penny shouldn't have made this team. Keith, we talked about that. We talked about it before the season started that I didn't think he was going to make this team. And honestly, if Trey Sermon doesn't fumble that ball in the 1 preseason game, he might have been the one that made the team. Yeah, the match shatters, man. You guys are going to battle out in the comments on that one. Our run game always sets up the pass last year. Absolutely. And there's also something to be said about the play calling. He's getting better at it, Brian Johnson. He made a commitment at one point on Thursday night to run the ball because it was working, for sure. I saw that film breakdown. Yeah, that film breakdown, that I don't know who that dude was. Sharing a video, breaking down film of DeAndre Swift on one of his runs, and he runs through a giant hole, where he doesn't hit the hole. I forget what he did. But this guy thought you had Cam Jurgens and Lane Johnson's asses literally touching each other. And he's like, see, he could have gotten through that little gap there. He could have dove through that gap, and that's what he should. Like, are you kidding me? Talk about dumb, dumb, dumb. The spray chart is irrelevant. You have to watch each play. Keith, I appreciate that. I always say your opinion matters. I think the spray chart tells a story of where Jalen Hurts' eyes go. And yes, each play breakdown, whether it's bad pass protection, what was the previous play, things like downs and distances, all that plays into it. But it also shows when you're that much on the deep ball or that little on the deep ball and so much just on those short outside passes it tells a story, Keith. And it tells a story that he's not willing to do certain things. Dan Sileo had a field day yesterday after Goddard's interview. Did Goddard have an interview? I missed that. Travel day. I don't know. So I guess I'll have to look up the Goddard interview. Dan Sileo, he's a clown. I always welcome on the show. If he wants me to put him in his place, he's always welcome on the show. I'll make those passes. Maybe. The O-line is not pass blocking well. It's not. But see, the thing is, Keith, and this is something that when I was on my previous network, I brought up a lot last year, that Jalen Hurts' extreme success last year covered the fact that the O-line pass blocking wasn't elite. They're elite running blocking. There's no doubt about it. The best run blocking offensive line in football, without a shadow of a doubt, can make Miles Sanders, DeAndre, can make anybody look elite. But they don't pass block well. And sometimes an offensive line could look better than they are because the quarterback is so effective. And I think there's something to that for sure. That's what yeah. Here we go. Looks like the Vikings had Ray Lewis and yeah, look. It was not good. Good morning, Anthony. Great to have you back. I hope the vacay went fantastic. I appreciate the likes because they are free. I had a fantastic vacation. Just thought you'd like to know that. I was very unhappy having to come home yesterday. I would have rather stay in Mexico and done these shows every day for the rest of my life from Mexico. I'll just say that because that was fantastic. Jalen was not trying to throw to the middle. He wasn't, and that's been a problem of Jalen's throughout his career, that he doesn't read the middle of the field well. That was the one weakness we didn't see a huge jump in last year. That he reads the outsides and not the middle. He reads the short passes, not the deep passes as well. He throws a great deep ball. He has the capability of throwing over the middle, but he just does not feel comfortable doing that. And it's a question going forward. Johnny Page at BGN does good breakdowns. Well, I know Shane Haft is now part of BGN too. So Shane Haft's been on the show. I haven't had him on this season yet. I'll have to work on getting Shane Haft on the show next week. He's my personal go-to for those kind of film breakdown videos right now. He bounced left instead of jumping through the two line. Yeah, like literally, you want him to jump in between two guys that their asses are touching. That's how close those linemen are together. You think that is a better choice than what the under? Yeah, I'm like, I got crushed with some Cowboys fan. First off, I got crushed by some guy that in his Twitter bio is a Cowboys fan, a Sixers fan, a Phillies fan, and a Cowboys fan. How can you be a Sixers fan and a Phillies fan, but a Cowboys fan? Like, make somehow something went wrong in that guy's life that he skipped the other Philadelphia team and became a Cowboys fan. That annoyed me. But I was getting crushed because no, that guy's opinion was better than mine. No, you don't run it in between two guys like that. Stupid. Everybody, now that all 22 is available to everybody, in the age of social media, everybody thinks they can break down film. That's why you don't see me breaking down film. I would love to do it. I love to have time to do it, but I'm no expert at breaking down film. So I'm not going to try to break down film. Yeah, I can see when somebody's got single coverage and where the quarterback could go, or I could see in a live feed when a safety's coming up and they should probably check out of a play or something. I can see it a little bit, but man, I'm no expert, so I'm not doing it. I save that for the experts. That's what I prefer to do. Goddard essentially said he's surprised that his role in the offense isn't as big as he had hoped for. That's interesting that he said that. I have to go back and read that or listen to that. Dallas Goddard has not been effective. What's he got? Like 6 catches for 22 yards through 2 games, and all that was last week. Like Dallas Goddard, it's not that Dallas Goddard is not part of this offense anymore. It's not like they said we don't want to throw the ball to Dallas Goedert. It's Jalen Hurts is not finding Dallas Goedert. And that's the problem. Because in week one, Dallas Goedert I still remember at least two plays specifically where Jalen Hurts had incomplete passes where Dallas Goedert was wide open. On like one of them, I remember Jalen Hurts ran to the right side and he threw, I think it was to AJ Brown. It was an incomplete pass. Dallas Goedert was 10 yards further down the field, wide open on the same side of the field. And Jalen Hurts missed him. It's the vision. And the vision of Jalen Hurts has been off without a shadow of a doubt to start this season. Now, I don't know how we fix that. I don't know how we go about solving that issue. But it is an issue that needs to be resolved and resolved soon. All right, it's 9 o'clock, guys, here in the morning here on Trending in the AM right here on Philadelphia Sports Network. I am Phil Stiefel. It's free for you to hit that like button. 13 likes on YouTube, 5 now on Facebook. Make sure you hit that like button. I mean, we lost a few viewers, so the comments keep coming in with the comments because the time is yours. This is all about you guys here. Do you always have to have something in your hands when you talk? Yes, I do. That's why I didn't always have a mic stand because I had to always have the microphone in my hand. K1, you guys wanted me to have a mic stand. I got a mic stand. Something always has to be in my hand. I have very fidgety hands. It's the Italian in me. I'm always talking with my hands. I know I always talk with my hands. If I have something in my hands at all times, maybe I don't talk with my hands as much. I always got 2 or 3 pens and whatever else is on my desk. I got a cell phone box here. I could throw that around if you want. Always have to have something in my hands because I don't know. I'm just a fidgety person. Sitting still is one of the hardest things to do for me. Um, aside, like when I would get my tattoos take longer than anybody else to get done because I can't sit still for hours to get a tattoo done. Um, I just don't sit still. Everyone breaking down film is talking about backside. Just break it down. Look, I don't break film down. I'm not an expert. I don't claim to be an expert. I did not stay at a Holiday Inn Express last night, so I'm not going to break down film. But when I see someone poorly break film down, I can tell, and I'm not going to let them do it without getting called out on it. Because why would I? Hurts getting you them W's, y'all. Yeah, I mean, Hurts again. We're being very, very critical of this team that is 2-0 right now. We're being very critical of a team that has won 2 games against 2 strong defenses. We're being very critical of a team that is overcoming obstacles, injuries. I mean, let's not you know say anything negative. The injuries have piled up on this team, and they have still found ways to win. Great teams find ways to win games that they shouldn't. When you multiple guys go down in the game, you shouldn't win it, but they're finding ways to do it, and that's all that should really matter. But when you're still only week 2 in a 17-week season or 17-game season, you can see like you're not going to be able to win all 17 games on guts, grit, and that extra push. You need things to start clicking at some point, and trying to find a way to get them to click is the most important thing. Oh, it's I know it's not a criticism. I know I do it. My wife tells me my wife doesn't watch many shows, but she tells me when she sees something like that all the time. I just I can't help myself. I can't. I don't think I would ever stop being fidgety with my hands. I don't. Um, German Italian. He definitely can't sit. I'm 50-50 German Italian. There ain't no sitting still with me. I'm a fidgety person. I thought he was pretty sure he's pizzatarian. I mean, if the pizza shop's still standing, I don't know. It's still standing because the guy hit the wrong dude. So side story, guys, because you're watching. I got to talk pizza shop for a second. So shout out to my staff. They did a great job covering for me for a week. So I get an email from my landlord. So the Cancun airport has the worst Wi-Fi in the world. We get an email from our landlord at about 2:15 yesterday. My flight leaves at 3:30. 2:15 yesterday. That the people that deliver our food backed into the other restaurant's front of the building yesterday and knocked down an entire pillar. The overhang is hanging down. It is literally destroyed, and they pulled away without telling anybody. Luckily, our shopping center has security cameras, and the security cameras caught them on camera doing it. So now here I am trying to figure this problem out with shitty Wi-Fi at an airport, calling this person, calling that person. I, dude, it's tough. And I was just shocked. I'm like, how does somebody back into? They didn't even back into it when they were trying to turn the truck. They clipped it. Like, they just went about their business, unloading the truck. Like, shocked, shocked. Now, it's not my responsibility. The truck service will take care of it. Blah blah blah. But man, that I just can't get over how that would happen. Um, Eagles finally humbled the Bucks. They should. If the Eagles lose to Baker Mayfield next week on Monday Night Football, this show is not going to be pleasant for a week or two. I just got to tell you that. K1, that was so yeah. Of course. Breaking down film is more objective than divining a spray chart. Um, Breaking down film, it's objective to certain styles of people. There are definitely people that know how to break down film well. There are definitely people that have put a lot of time and effort in studying how to properly break down film, and they do it enough that they start to learn it. Um, it's just it, it's too easy. It's just like anybody could do a podcast. I'm not that talented, I have fun doing this, but anybody can do it, and there's definitely people that shouldn't be doing it. Just like there's certain people that shouldn't be breaking down film. I you got to find people you trust that do it objectively. Define standing. Oh, I don't know. We'll find out. I'll be in about an hour. Why so darn serious? I'm not serious. I hope that's a joke. I cannot. I've complained about this driver so many times to the corporate office. So yeah, not how I wanted to end my vacation. And then to make matters worse, like I said at the beginning of the show, then I hit a deer on 95 and wrecked the side of my Jeep. What a disaster yesterday was. What a disaster. And who knows what's gonna happen to my Jeep now. I mean, it's drivable still, but the whole side of it's got dents and dings and cracks all over it. So that's what happened. Part of life. I guess going 75 on 95 and hitting a deer, a buck, could have been much worse than what it was. So the fact that I was able to make it home the last hour and 10-minute ride was worth it. So or good enough. Yeah, you gotta look at the positives, I guess. Yes, I hit a deer as well, Judlin. Driving down 95, right around the Baltimore Harbor Tunnel. Right before we went into the tunnel, deer jumped onto the highway, hit the side of the Jeep. I saw it coming, tried to swerve, but knew going 75 miles an hour I couldn't swerve too much. Had a lot of traffic on the road, so I couldn't slam on my brakes. So I kind of curved and let the deer kind of curve into the side. I don't know how many antlers it had, but it was definitely a buck. So um, we're all right. Yeah, we're a little shooken up. We pulled over on the side of 95 and checked it out, knew it was drivable, and we made it home. Um, Point a cowboy on the hood. Yeah, paint a cowboy on the hood. No, I would never do that. Um, anyway, back to the point of the story here. There's some overreacting. There's some not overreacting. Deer not signaling when, yeah, dude, that deer jumped out of nowhere. It's pitch black. It came out of nowhere. Wife's car broke down out of nowhere yesterday. I feel the pain, man. Car trouble, man. I have a brand. I haven't even finished paying this Jeep off yet, man. I still got like 12 more payments on it, man. Yeah, and now it's not gonna be pretty anymore. I'm gonna have to take it somewhere and get it looked at. So we'll see. It's not on the top of the priority list just yet. Was the deer you hit Giannis? No, it was not Giannis. Not at all. Totally unrelated. Venison pizza special today. No, I did not stop on 95 to get the deer. Did not going to. I hate venison. I feel your pain when I got back from vacation in Vegas. My AC went. Yeah, it's like you spend all this money on vacation, come home. I spent how much money just on a dog sitter? The dog sitter did a shitty job, and then it's just like everything goes wrong when you come back from vacation. You don't have any money because of vacation, and everything goes wrong. That's just the way it is. Uh, you hitting a deer reminds me of Goodfellas. The hoof, yeah, the hoof. Way I pulled over, my wife got out because I couldn't because I was on I went on the right side of the highway to pull over, and so my wife got out to look at the right side of the car, and she said you could see some, fur in the side of the car. Like I thought of the same thing. Hoof. It was the fur, but it wasn't the hoof. But yeah, that's definitely what I was thinking about. Do you have a body guy? I'll find a body guy. I don't worry about that. Little things in life. Yes. What's up, guys? I'm glad. I'm glad to be back, guys. I'm glad to have this conversation. Like I said, I didn't know how I was even going to pull out 30 minutes today. I'm exhausted. Got a lot on my mind. Have been disconnected from football and sports for the last week. You guys are helping me power through this. We got about 15 minutes left in the show today. We're going to power through. We're going to finish this conversation. We haven't talked any Phillies yet. We haven't talked any Sixers. I know you guys don't like those conversations, but we are going to talk a little bit of maybe Thursday or Friday. We'll dabble in a little Sixers and Phillies because there is some Sixers stuff to discuss. There is a slight bit of Philly. We're getting close to the playoffs here. And I know Matt Chatter hates his baseball, but Red October gets here. We got to talk about it. The tier was named Billy Bats. Oh, we can make a lot of Goodfellas references. I love Goodfellas references. But sticking to the Eagles. Do I know anything about our new punter? Do we want to talk about a punter? Is a punter really exciting enough? The deer is out a lot more than 4 weeks. I know it did not survive that hit, which is why I'm so surprised I survived so easily. I will say, Jeep Wranglers must be a lot more durable than I thought they were. I would have thought that side of the car would have come completely off in that. The punter situation. My question isn't, is man a good punter or not? Because if he was supposedly really good when he became available, why no one else picked him up? That's the first question. Second question is, what took the Eagles so long to move on from Aaron Sipos? There's two parts of the punter situation that I just don't understand. Like, our punting's been bad this year, just like last year. But Brandon Mann was cut in the first set of cutdowns, the first part of cutdowns before the season started. So why did no one else take him? Is he not really as good as we hope or think? The other dude from Buffalo is still out there and available. I understand not valuing a position and how he's trying to manipulate the 53-man roster right now and just use the elevation on the practice squad thing. But is it really necessary to be this careless with the position? It isn't going to win you a Super Bowl, but it damn sure can lose you a Super Bowl. So I don't know. He's supposed to be a good punter. But if he was supposed to be a good punter, why hasn't he been brought on anywhere else yet? That's my I've been disconnected for 7 days response to that is, well, why hasn't he been picked up yet? We're going into week 3 and we just got him. So I don't know. I think Howie and Nick think we're good at linebacker, especially the way Morrow. Look, I don't think enough goes into how good Nicholas Morrow looked, considering he was a guy we cut. Consider it's a guy that I blasted as not being good enough all offseason. We are going to talk baseball in the coming weeks, especially when the playoffs start. Phillies are going to be in the playoffs. There ain't no doubt that we're talking Phillies when the playoffs come around. No doubt about it. Poor little liquor. Yeah, got to pour one out for him. He's gonzo. Where did Morrow even come from? Did he make the? He did not. He didn't even make the practice squad. We straight out cut him. They brought him back to the practice squad, then signed him to the 53-man roster for last week's game. And once they put Nakobe Dean on short-term IR, and he played great. And you notice he wasn't even on the team, and they started him over Christian Ellis. So that says a lot about a guy when you can just out of nowhere just step into a role like that and play. And I don't even know if he played great or not, but he played so much better than I expected that I kind of feel like he played great. Like, I was expecting a C- performance at best from Nicholas Morrow, and we got a C+, B- performance from him. We didn't get an A+ performance from him, but we got a really. It's just that jump there made it feel like, I don't know, like it came out of nowhere. If you want a real killer, drive a Ford Bronco. Yeah, I'm not. I'm keeping my Jeep. I'm just gonna leave it at that. Jeep ain't going nowhere. The guy was exonerated. Yeah, and he's still not out there. Still not on a job. He does have a stink on him. Deer heaven. Is there a rainbow bridge for deer? I don't know. No, Phil. Jeeps to hit you at. Yeah, I don't know. 3. These linebackers play well because of the pressure. Absolutely, and that's a huge thing right there, Peanut. The pressure that the front 4, 5 put on the quarterback. I know Hassan Reddick still has no sack. He had no sacks last year through 2 weeks. Like, all the things we think of this year, just remember certain things last year. Like, Devontae Smith didn't have a catch in the first game, just like Dallas Goedert didn't this year. Hassan Reddick had 0 sacks through 2 weeks last year, 0 this year. You know, there's some overreacting to be done, but there's also some perspective that you got to put into it. You know, Hurts made the O-line's bad pass protection last year look better than it was. It's not this year. The defensive line playing well makes the linebackers and makes the cornerbacks and safeties play better. When you get pressure with your front four like they can get, Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis and Fletcher Cox. We talk about Nicholas Morrow, we talk about Jalen Carter. No one's talking about Fletcher Cox. Fletcher Cox looks like 2016 Fletcher Cox all over again. Like he is playing really, really at an elite level. The stat numbers, the tackles and sacks might not look at it, but if you look at the film and you look at the pressure he's getting, Fletcher Cox is playing at an elite level right now, which is insane because we almost got rid of him. The Bucs have 0 running games, so we'll be on the dime most of the game. Yeah, I mean, we're gonna have to be in the dime, not just because they have 0 running game, but because they have Mike Evans and I mean, this is going to be the biggest test we've had so far at the wide receiver position. I know we had Justin Jefferson for the Vikings, but Addison's not like you look at Jefferson and Addison last week versus Mike Evans and Chris Godwin this week. That's 2 elite guys that you got to stop. You better hope that James Bradbury's back this week. We are going to be running a lot of dime. There's going to be an Eli Ricks or Kellen Ringo or Josh Doby's going to have to play a huge game. Was the Margaritaville Resort in a period of mourning? Not as much. I mean, we were good. What 2 weeks post? There were some people that were talking about it and all, but I think they were past that, and it was what it was. It wasn't as big of nothing big was done for it as I was thinking, but probably they said a lot of people said the day and week of a lot more was done for it. That's why it's stuck important commitment about. Oh, I was hammered. I'm not hammered right now. I'm as sober as can be. Howie was irresponsible at safety and linebacker and punter. He might have been. And if it comes back at the end of the season, that the season ends in a disappointing fashion because of these positions, we will definitely have to hold him accountable for it, Keith. We will. But he's held such a low value on those positions for so long that we kind of have to give him a benefit of the doubt at this point because he didn't value the positions last year, and we made it to the Super Bowl. He didn't value the positions in 2017. You know, you kind of gotta you just gotta give him the benefit of the doubt at this point, I guess. Is Carter on team? Jalen Carter? What? Um. Also, Baker Mayfield is good for a couple picks easy. Baker Mayfield's played well so far. I mean, they're 2-0 the Bucs. I didn't have the Bucs starting 2-0. I don't know if anybody else did. I don't think I had the Bucs even with a winning record. I think I had the Saints winning that division. Maybe I don't even know. Baker sucks. Baker Mayfield's one of those quarterbacks that's always confused. Baker Mayfield got all the hype way too early in his career, and he bought into his own hype and didn't put the work in to actually get good. And he had a fall off in his career. Spent too much time making commercials and not enough time focusing on his game. He didn't have that Jalen Hurts work ethic. But he's still talented enough or physically gifted enough where teams keep him on a chance. The Bucs give him a chance. You give him 2 weapons. I don't think he ever had 2 weapons in Cleveland like Mike Evans and Chris Godwin. And he's having a solid start. And you put that with a great defense like the Bucs have. Now they're 2-0. Baker Mayfield could play mid. Baker Mayfield could play like the 15th best quarterback in the NFL with that defense that might be good enough to win that division and get to the playoffs. And I never would have thought that Baker Mayfield would be a playoff quarterback with the Bucs this year. But that just goes to show that it's not always the quarterback that has to elevate everybody else, that other players can elevate quarterbacks. I'm sorry, that wasn't the one I was looking for. Howie can't fix everything at the same time. If punter is the biggest flaw, then I will take that. So that goes back to the original question. As we get to the final 10 minutes of this show, is it the biggest flaw? Is it the biggest area of concern, or is it safety or linebacker, or is it who's our slot wide receiver this week if Quez can't go? You know, there are still issues and questions that need to be addressed and answered. Like the Commanders 2-0. Look, the Cardinals are terrible. Who they beat? Who's the other team the Commanders beat? I don't even remember. But the Commanders aren't as good as their record says they are. Sam Howell looked. I will say one thing about. I was flipping through games at one moment on Sunday, and Sam Howell made a throw on a deep crossing route into the end zone to Terry McLaurin. That was a beautiful thrown ball. Beautiful thrown ball. And he put it in a place where only McLaurin can make the catch. McLaurin's elite. And that one touchdown pass from Sam Howell to McLaurin kind of gave me a little pause and said, huh, maybe Sam Howell's better than I thought he was. I mean, what's that, your third time bashing Miles Sanders this show? It's okay. It's allowed to do. Also, Tampa Bay has backup center. Good luck with that. Look, I don't know. I haven't even looked at Tampa Bay much, so I don't know. Denver was the other one. Yeah, Denver's terrible. I watched a few minutes of the Denver game, um, and he's just we dodged so many bullets after 2021. Not getting Russell Wilson, not getting Jimmy Garoppolo, not getting who was the other quarterback we almost got? It was Russell Wilson. There was another one that a lot of people wanted to go get, and they're all just doing not so good. Oh, Deshaun Watson. Everybody wanted Watson. Everybody wanted Wilson. Few people wanted Garoppolo. We dodged a lot of bullets right there. Denver's not good. Slam and Sammy. Buffalo Bills about to give Commanders a tough reality check. We'll see. We'll see. Buffalo looked much better this week than they did in week one. They worked the rust off for sure. I think Howie looks at the defense and thinks we have depth and talent on the roster. It's just a matter of game planning better. Yeah, and that is part of it. We've definitely had issues with our coordinators at different times the first 2 weeks of the season. They're guys that are learning. Hopefully, they continue to grow. Hopefully, they continue to get better and work the kinks out of what they're doing. We'll see. Dunking on you if they lose. Yeah. Who cares? I'm not worried. Slam and Sammy. Just listen to Peanut. He knows what's up. Peanut's a voice of reason. Why? How has Peanut become a voice of reason in my life? I'm really not sure how Peanut has become a voice of reason in my life. Peanut is the most non-reasonable person in the world, yet he's become the voice of reason. What is this world? This is like the upside down bizarro world here. That Peanut's the voice of reason. They literally call him Sammy Sosa. News to me. That's good. That's fine. By all means, if we lose to the Commanders, we stink. The Bills will not lose to the Commanders this week. I'll put it down there right now. Is Anthony Barr really saving this linebacker core? I mean, Cunningham wasn't supposed to be this good, right? Is Anthony Barr available? Again, disconnected for a week. My mind is, mine's lost. I don't know. I think Anthony Barr's a little washed up too right now. I'm not sure. That might be something. What's Peanut? Who's Peanut? Moyo under the Facebook. Moyo. It says Moyo Rivera. That's Peanut Marshawn. He's got the Facebook thing on his name, so he comments under Facebook. He's a guy that does a great show called Birds, Beer, and BS on the AAT Sports Network. Him, Spazzy Jeff, and Party Doll Dave. They do a great show over there. They have a lot of fun, a lot of curse words, a lot of drinking. It's a good show. I recommend it. But how has he become the voice of reason? I don't know. In no shape or form did I ever think that he would be the guy keeping me at level-headed. I thought that would be the mad chatter, but it's not. All right, guys. It's final 5 minutes of the show here. Will Jackson. I saw a few people mention Will Jackson at nickel. I don't dislike it. And Rob, thanks for the comment, Rob Gamble. Made a few here late here in the show. This is where the thought process that I kind of threw together at the last second for today kind of came together. Like, well, why hasn't he been brought in yet? Like, he should already be under contract. Howie overvaluing the youth we have on this team and not I don't want to use the word not panicking enough, but not concerned enough about the injuries that are mounting. It seems like the injuries that are mounting, he's filling from within, which is fine. That's why you have depth. That's why you have backups. But are we confident in these guys that he keeps bringing in? Bringing in like Nicholas Morrow played great filling in last week. But are we just going to fill in all these injuries with the guys that we've already had that know the system? Or are we going to go out and get a legit player to fill some of these holes? That is the question. And I don't know why Howie hasn't decided to bring anybody in yet, other than man at punter. Absolutely. Sorry, man, chatter. The Phillies game got out of hand quick last night. Did it? I think they lost last night, right? I don't even know. I know they beat the Braves 2 nights ago, but I was hanging out a lot at the show at the resort with some Baltimore Ravens or Baltimore Orioles fan this week. So I heard a lot of Baltimore Orioles talk this week. Um, uh, Trade deadline is until Halloween. That is true, and that is a good thing now in the NFL. Much later trade deadline, but I keep going back to should Howie be addressing these issues bigger than he is right now? Sorry, little stuffed up there for a second. Anyway, um, yeah, I just don't know if we're just letting it ride now, and then he's going to make a bigger move down the line. I don't know. That is my initial thought process today. Howie's lack of reaction to the injury issues that are piling up, and we've had quite a few of them so far that have piled up. Can't just cork the holes in the ship if we want to make it far down the river. Great comment. You got to actually fill the hole. You can't just put some. I think about that part of the Vegas Vacation um, when Chevy Chase puts his thumb in one of the holes in the Hoover Dam, and then another one pops. He puts a hole, and then another one pops up, and he puts another hole. Then he eventually runs out of fingers, and he grabs some gum and to stick in another hole, and they just keep popping over. That's what I'm thinking about with the injuries. You keep just plugging your finger in the hole. That's what she said. Instead of actually fixing the hole. And I don't know. Maybe what Howie's doing is going to fix the whole big picture, but maybe it's just going to make other things leak other places, and that to me is a concern. We whack a mole, basically. Like I don't. Look. My words aren't flowing as well as normal this morning. I'm still a little on vacation hangover here, but I think my point is coming across finally here at the end of this show that there's too much, gum and fingers in the holes here and not enough solving the problems. We'll see. Is it an overreaction? Maybe. Maybe not. You're describing literally every team in the league. Maybe. Maybe not. I don't know what every team's doing to fill their issues. Look at all the depth charts. Well, I got the Eagles depth chart up on the screen right now. I do. I had it up before the game, before the show started. I mean, we got issues right now. Our secondary right now: Bradbury, Slay, Ringo, Ricks, Goodrich, Joby. Losing Maddox and Zach McPherson, and you're going to plug them in with Ringo, Ricks, Joby, and Goodrich. Is that the smart way to go? You've now got Morrow and Cunningham at linebacker with Christian Ellis, and that's it. Like, there's concerns. Now you possibly are without Quez Watkins for a little bit. I don't know. Are we really going to roll with no Quez Watkins? Look, I'm not throwing the towel. I'm not panicking. I'm questioning the choices that are being made to fill the hole. The Giants are perfectly healthy, but they're the Giants. Yeah, but they're the Giants. Um, Saquon got hurt too. I thought Saquon got hurt. I thought I heard Saquon is out for a few weeks. Is it possible that I saw that come across my phone somewhere? I don't know. Maybe I saw it. But we'll pick that up tomorrow. Anyway, guys, we're going to wrap up Trade in the AM right here on Philadelphia Sports Network right there, guys. Make sure you got 16 likes on YouTube, 5 on Facebook. Make sure you hit that like button. It's free to do. It's free to hit the share button. It's free to hit the notification bell and the subscribe button. Tune in tonight, 6 o'clock. My man, Liam will be back with another Outside Insider show. Insider Outsider, I forget what he calls it. Again, mine's not fully awake yet. But we'll be back tomorrow, 8:15 a.m. We might drop a little Sixers conversation. I kind of miss talking Sixers. I want to get into it. I appreciate that, Rob. I appreciate it. This was C minus work for me, Rob. C minus work for me today. I got to get over the vacation hangover. I got to get back into my routine. It might take me a day or two to do it. And guys, the Core 12, I see you guys representing in Liam's stream. I love it. I love you guys representing the morning show, not you representing the breakfast show during the dinner show. I love it. Liam has no facial hair game now. I don't know if Liam could grow facial hair or not. I am back, baby. Kelly Oubre, man. It's an interesting sign. It's something I got a lot of opinions on. It is. So maybe we'll spend some time talking some Sixers tomorrow. As we do, we'll do Sixers tomorrow. Maybe next week we'll touch on the Phillies a little bit. We'll see how it goes. But we're gonna wrap up Training the AM right there. It's free to hit those buttons on your screen there. Make sure you do it and tell everybody. Train the AM, where your opinions actually matter. I'm back, baby. And with that, we're gonna wrap it up for Philadelphia Sports Network. I am Phil Stiefel. Make sure you subscribe and don't miss tonight's show right here with Liam. Yep. Go Birds, guys.